Every essay you write has a voice. Ideally, you use your own. But let's be honest, writing essays for college, it's really intimidating. And then because of that, you might be tempted to write your essay with the goal of dazzling a school. And often the minute that becomes the focus, you lose your authentic voice. You lose your true self. I remember once reading an essay that was packed so full of big words that it made me giggle as I read it. I don't want that for you. In this case, I didn't get to know the student. I just pictured them frantically searching for synonyms, and it sounded a little bit like a robot was applying to Berkeley. And in this case, the student's voice, poof, it vanished once they hit the thesaurus too hard. So let's avoid that. And let's ask a question to get into this. What is voice? It's the tone of the essay, how the words come alive. The goal is to write in such a way that your personality shines right off the page. Have you ever heard that Oscar Wilde quote, "Be yourself, everyone else is taken"? That is solid advice for this process. And plus, he was a writer, so he knows. You want your application readers to get to know you, like the real you, through the words you choose and how you phrase them. Your essay should be read as if you're speaking it. One question to ask when all of this is said and done is the following. Is what I wrote authentic? Does it really sound like me? This is the time to highlight your personality, and by doing so, you will absolutely connect better with your reader. All right, so let's assess your voice as you write. So think about how you talk in class, at work, when you're volunteering. Are you serious? Are you playful? Do you typically use big words? Some people do. Do you speak with brevity, meaning short to the point? If you can't tell, brevity is not my thing. I'm more in the camp of, are you long-winded, highly expressive? Are you descriptive? Are you quirky or zany or witty? Do you love a good metaphor? I want you to pause this lesson and take note of how you communicate. This can be spoken or written, and jot down as many ideas as you can for what your voice sounds like. Okay, hopefully you came up with something that you can check in with after you've written a draft to see that it's authentic to you. You can see that you're being your whole self rather than an attempt to impress your dream school. And if you write from the heart, it will draw in a reader. That's the ultimate goal, is connection. So here are some quick tips to make sure you're writing with your authentic voice. Number one, I want you to get really comfortable with first person. So for example, the following is in first person. I didn't really know if I would ever return to biology club after what happened. The first thing I want to know is what in the world happened, and that's a pretty good opener, but one concept at a time. We'll come back to that. What I want you to focus on right now is the I, because we don't often write in first person. Most of the writing we do is academic, and you've been told to avoid writing I or starting sentences with I. But college admission essay writing, it is a creative writing process. You can start all sorts of sentences with I. Number two, there's this linguistic concept called code switching, and it just means that humans alternate their styles of speaking. The way I'm talking to you right now is very different than how I will talk to my friends later. The way you talk to your friends is probably really different than how you talk to an older relative or your teacher. But it's still the real you, it's within the range of you. I want you to aim for somewhere between formal and casual voice when you write your essays. It should be written as if you're speaking to your favorite teacher or a mentor, someone you trust, someone you're comfortable with. You don't want it to be weirdly formal. It will absolutely be cringy to the reader. I've experienced that. But then you don't want it to be so informal that you make your reader uncomfortable either. I've experienced that too. So we're trying to find a balance between them. Number three, contractions aren't a problem. So mash up those words. We want these essays to feel like you're speaking out loud. And most of us don't go around saying, I did not want to continue biology club after that, right? You'd say, I didn't want to continue biology club. So write it like that. Number four, remember your motivation as you write. As I've already said, if you approach writing to win over a school, you may act like someone you aren't. And as the College of Atlantic has nicely said, don't use big vocabulary words for the sake of puffing up your writing. It's clear that's what you're trying to do. You'll miss the opportunity to connect with your reader. They're just going to be distracted by such an obvious attempt, and then the whole thing's going to fall flat. So an easy tip for finding out if you've captured your authentic voice is pass along the essay to someone you know, someone you trust, somebody who knows your voice, and you can say, does this sound like me? And then as a final concept, show your vulnerability when it's appropriate. And so what is vulnerability? It's being open to sharing your emotions. Let's try to find your true voice right now. I'm going to walk you through two activities. I have yet another prompt for you, but this time the purpose is to capture a very Goldilocks approach to your voice, right? Not too formal, not too informal, just right. All right, so this might feel a little silly, and honestly, that is the point. I want you to feel a little silly. Students tend to write a little too formally. Usually that's the direction it goes. So we're gonna avoid that pitfall. I want you to write me a paragraph explaining how TikTok works to your grandma. All right, have fun with that. I'll see you on the other side. If you're resuming, how did it go? Did you capture that balance between formal and informal? Like, did it sound like the more slightly professional version of you, but you nonetheless? All right, how about one more paragraph to really drive this point home? This time, I want you to share an experience that was embarrassing. Okay, something embarrassing that happened to you. Maybe not like the most embarrassing thing ever. We don't need too much of that today, but just an embarrassing event in your life. And when you do that, I want you to just be as honest as possible. So go ahead and pause and have at it. And if you're now rejoining, take a minute to look over what you just wrote. Again, does it sound like you? Like, what do you sound like? And then I want you to remember this balance when you start writing for real.